Welcome back to another episode of Adoptions from the Heart TV. I'm your host, Amanda Aliberti. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the adoption process and the fact that two partners going through the process can sometimes disagree on the different pieces of adoption, and it's really important that you're on the same page when you're ready to adopt. So now we're going to turn to Jenna and Meredith, who are going to talk a little bit about that. Thanks, Amanda. We felt it was really important to have this conversation, as we often do see adoptive parents disagree on the process, especially in the early stages of the adoption. And while it is really important to agree when you're making final decisions, please know that it is, and rest assured that it's okay to be on a different page in the very beginning. So we're going to talk a little bit about our advice to you should you not be on the same page in the adoption process. So Meredith, what advice or feedback have you given to adoptive parents who may disagree on level of openness?
Depending on their openness, we always say it is very important to look at your profile key, talk to one another. If you can't disagree or agree on something, meet in the middle. This is a time where you bring in and meet with your social worker, and we go over the key, what he or she likes, or what he or she likes, or what they both like, and we come to an agreement.
Yeah. Okay. And so if a family would disagree on drugs or alcohol or mental health, let's say, what would you ask them to do?
I would ask them to meet with a medical professional who is adoption friendly and who understands where some of our birth parents have been, and that would give them the correct advice. We, as social workers, advise that that would be the best thing to do.
Okay. What about money or funds for the adoption? Do you have any advice or feedback for families who may not agree on the cost of an infant adoption?
That sometimes is very hard for our adoptive families. So we do say there are different ways to come to the expense of adoption. And again, we have them, they have to agree together before starting their adoption journey, because it is difficult to begin with, so we really want them on the same page.
Yeah. So just to recap, for openness, if you are on a different page, remember to come to an agreement, and it's better to go on that lower end of the scale because you don't want to overpromise. When it comes to drugs and alcohol, we suggest that you meet with a professional, that you go over and mutually agree. And then when it comes for money, we really suggest that you research as much as you can, look at grants, make sure you know all the fees up front, and those are just some of our advice to you should you disagree about these topics. Thank you so much, Jenna and Meredith, and we're hopeful that this is helpful for adopting parents going through the process. Please let us know if you think of other topics that might be helpful, and tune in next week.